In this market, there's a lot of capital in venture capital and also in commercial debt, and also in microfinance. But we see a big part of the market that's not served by those investment models. At the same time, we see many digital lenders providing more and more access to capital for small businesses, very inclusive credit. A lot of these digital lenders, they need a form of capital that is more flexible and more on demand. They can go to a VC to maybe get started with their idea, but that might help them build 500 electric motorcycles. But they need to have 5,000 electric motorcycles to be able to get a loan. So what they need is capital to be able to go from 50 motorcycles to 5,000 motorcycles. And that's the kind of capital that we provide.
In this sector, one of the things that we see these business models do is build on existing practices. And I think that's very helpful because it means there's less resistance and there's more familiarity with what's happening. By taking these existing practices and moving them into the digital sphere, you then have a track record that can be shared more broadly, and you have a data set that has value in and of itself. You add this other layer of value that the ag techs themselves can begin to use to provide better services, to provide better insights to how they should operate their business, and ultimately reach more businesses at a cheaper rate as well.
Technology, I think, is very important to bring more efficiency. So we try to help our customers to build their own track record, to get other credit sources. Some customers, they start up with a very small limit and they grow over time to a larger limit with us, at least because of the track record, what we see in their shop, that we see constant increasing orders. So then we increase their limit through our system. But that track record is there. So it's a digital app, so they can show it to any other lender that they want to go to.
Many of the services that our partners provide huge benefits for smallholder farmers and those living in rural areas, because in many of those areas, the value chain or the services available are quite limited. So by providing the resources, really the credit through these embedded finance systems, the ability to deliver trucking services or solar irrigation, it transforms the lives of these smallholder farmers.
When you look at the needs, we still need a lot more capital flowing into the space to enable entrepreneurs across Africa to grow their incomes and just provide more for their households. And secondly, there's also a data gap, right? How do we enable a lot more sharing of information? We need to see a lot of players within the space coming together to share a lot more knowledge and a lot more data around how they're providing their services and how we can all continue to strengthen rural economies together.
Data has the ability to transform finance and lending in Africa. Why? Because of the lack of transparency and the lack of data sources in Africa. If we're able to better manage data, aggregate data, make it analyzable at scale, it makes Africa an investable continent. The traditional way of lending is very limited, and so attracts a certain kind of capital that has difficult finding its way to Africa oftentimes. But it's my belief that if we make investing in Africa more transparent, more accountable, and more profitable, we can attract new sources of capital, commercial sources of capital, to invest in Africa and really grow this economy for the long term.
If the businesses that we're supporting continue to thrive, this can have a huge knock-on impact. First, the direct impact that they're having on the customers that they serve and the businesses that they're serving. Secondly, it shows the sector that there are viable business models here to invest in, both from a debt and an equity perspective, and that these can then perhaps multiply across the geographies that we're seeing. Thirdly, as these businesses increase, they become more robust. We're backing them at a very early stage, and it's important for someone to be doing that. But as they grow and they graduate, there will be other investors that can come in and help them get to the next stage. And that's really important for the ecosystem to see that there are these successful models that can grow and, again, can contribute to a thriving sector and reduce that gap in finance that we've seen so persistently stubborn across the continent in the sector.